Hi, this is Teacher June from the Marks and Stars Academy. Today, in this video, I'll be sharing with you the one skill that's tested in the Social Studies component of the Upper Sec Combined Humanities paper. How do we actually analyze political cartoons in Social Studies? What are political cartoons? What are some of the mistakes, particularly the top 3 mistakes that students make when analyzing political cartoons? And what's the strategy that you can use for analyzing a piece of political cartoon? Political cartoons are commonly found in magazines, newspapers, and even books. A political cartoon is an artist's view of a certain issue in illustrated form. The purpose of political cartoons is to make its readers think about issues. These issues can be political, social, religious, or economic. Political cartoons often rely on humor and/or sarcasm to drive home a point. What are the top 3 mistakes that students often make when analyzing political cartoons? First of all, I think students tend to take an overly narrative approach in answering a question on political cartoons. For example, they tend to describe the picture as they would, for example, in English oral exam. Next, students tend not to draw links between the symbols in the picture. They would rather, for example, describe each aspect of the cartoon individually. And last of all, students are not inferring the right meaning from these symbols. As you know, political cartoons are very rich in symbolism. Every little bit of symbol in a cartoon has meaning, and there's different meanings which you need to piece together to form a coherent answer. So what's the strategy that you can use? Now, first of all, in the first step, you might want to determine what's the focus of the cartoon or even photograph. What is it about the subject that the author is focusing on? If you determine the focus correctly, that will help you get the valid inference. The next step, look out for hidden meanings and messages within the cartoon itself. What are some of the things that are not so obvious in the picture? Sometimes things that are missing may also provide important clues to help you derive valid inferences. And finally, putting it all together, writing an analytical paragraph, use the strategy of P, that is, make a point, that is your inference, supported by relevant evidence, the first E, and then elaborate, the second E, with further details and/or explanation. Let's look at an actual example to see how we can put it into practice. Take a look at the cartoon before you. What do you see? What does the character in the picture represent? Africa? Good. How can you tell? Well, you can see that the body of the main character is drawn as the map of Africa, and of course the word Africa is written on the body of the character itself. So that was easy. Now, what can we infer about Africa, about the condition that Africa is going through at the moment? Now, if you look at the rest of the cartoon, you can see various symbols there. To the left side of the cartoon, you see that there is a big iron ball, right, that is chained to the character's right foot, and to its left, a smaller one to his left foot. What else can you see? What do these the iron balls represent to you? On the iron balls itself, there are words like poverty, AIDS, hunger, corruption. So we can infer that there are domestic problems that are confronting Africa, such as poverty, AIDS, hunger, and corruption. And in addition to that, Africa is also ridden with a debt crisis. As I said earlier, symbolism matters a lot in the analysis of political cartoons. All right, what's the symbolism of the ball and chain? Now you can see, from the cartoon itself, the ball and chain represents the idea that Africa is being shackled, is being weighted down, it is unable to free itself, all right? But does that mean that that's all there is to it? Look towards your right-hand side. Do you also see there's a broken link in the chain that's attached to the word, the ball that's suggesting debt? What can you infer from the broken link? You could say that the broken link suggests Africa's debt crisis is slowly easing away, but it's not totally free as yet because the chain is still tied to the left foot of the character in the cartoon. In another aspect of political cartoon, size matters. So if you notice the sizes of the two balls, the one representing poverty, AIDS, hunger and corruption is drawn as much larger than the one with the word debt. So this again suggests that domestic problems are a bigger problem confronting Africa in this cartoon. So how do we put it all together in an analytical paragraph? Take a look at this suggested answer. Now you can see that all your inferences need to be backed up with relevant supporting details from the cartoon itself. So you might want to first start off with, let's say, an inference that Africa is very poor. Now there's no way, nowhere in the source that where the cartoonist tells you that, Africa is poor, and neither do you find the word poor in the source. So that is actually your own inference. It's what you deduce from your understanding of the cartoon. Don't just stop there because you need to back it up. Remember the E? So you have to say, this is supported by the scrawny figure in the picture. Another possible inference you can make is, it appears that Africa has no idea how to solve its problems. And how can you back that up with an E, and a piece of evidence? This is supported by the character scratching its head and looking clueless. Africa is also burdened by its domestic problems of, quote, poverty, AIDS, hunger and corruption. Where you can, you might want to quote the exact words from the source to back up your answer. And you can further elaborate by saying, as seen in the ball, chain and ball, that is shackling the character in the picture. These problems also appear to be more serious than the debt issue, from which Africa is partially extricated, as seen in the broken link. Now, do not just stop here. A higher level answer will need you to focus more on the purpose of the cartoonist. So in this cartoon, you might say the cartoonist intends to convince the international community that Africa is unable to solve its problems, so that other countries will want to provide a helping hand to Africa. So that sums up the scale of analyzing political cartoons in this video. We have come to the end of today's sharing. I hope you have found this video helpful in clarifying some of your doubts on analyzing political cartoons in social studies. If you have further questions, feel free to contact me at www.marksandstars.com. If you have found this video useful, please do share this also with your friends. Thank you and have a great day ahead.